What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners video for today's 8-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Osmo.com. Now, it was a harrowing weekend for me, started off by Jacob deGrom taking a dump directly in all of our faces, followed up by my laptop dying on Saturday, me having to get a new one, a fun, unnecessary expense to have, and also Sunday, of course, Game of Thrones, giving me one last kick in the nards on the way out for investing in a show for 8 years. So today, more than ever, your support would be both appreciated and perhaps necessary to keep me alive today. So like this video and leave a comment down below about your favorite pitcher on today's slate and the amount of strikeouts you think you're going to get from them. Those two things combined will get you all the pride amongst your peers and, in my eyes, down in the comments. So right now, like the video and drop that comment down below. But all we can do is try to heal, and I'll try to do that right now with the first corner I want to hit on the top pitchers on today's slate. Patrick Corbin going up against the New York Mets. There's currently no Vegas total for this game, but the expectations it'll be Drew Gagnon out there across from Patrick Corbin. But Corbin himself is expected to be the top-owned guy on DK at 36%, top-owned guy on FanDuel at 26%, and he'll be also at 36% on Yahoo as the #1 guy. It's been 2 solid starts in a row for Corbin with 8 and 11 strikeouts to get him up to 10.6 Ks per 9 on the year. Now he faces a Mets lineup who's in some disarray, according to some reports out there. Some rumors about their manager maybe getting fired very early in the year. They also strike out at a 29% rate versus left-hand pitching. Seems like a good spot for Corbin and guys when rounding into form. I know it's going to be tough to trust an ace again after we've been burned by them a lot over the last week. That Friday in particular was a nightmare scenario for anybody who wanted to roster a high-priced pitcher. But you got to go back to, well, a guy like Corbin's got a lot of upside. He's been rounding into form, and his Mets lineup has been looking poor, so I don't mind a spot at all here for Corbin. Luke Weaver at San Diego should also be popular today with 3.9 implied runs against him. He's expected to be highly owned on DK and Yahoo as an SP2. Weaver's got 9.6 Ks per 9 on the year, and he can be solid with San Diego's 27.6% K rate versus right-hand pitching and an 82 WRC plus in a pitcher's park. But there is some dangerous power opposing him with guys like Franmil Reyes and Hunter Renfroe smashing home runs over an 8% rate in 2019. They also have comparable numbers versus right-hand pitching going back to last year. I think Weaver is an okay pitcher, a guy who does have some decent results, but I think the San Diego lineup does have a lot of power across from him. I'm certainly afraid of it, and I'm not a guy who loves Weaver enough where I'm probably going to get there as much as the field is expected to. Brad Peacock at the White Sox is also going to be a top option today. He gets 3.6 implied runs against him, and Peacock's expected close to Weaver's ownership versus a White Sox team with a 25.7% K rate versus right-hand pitching on the year. Peacock's splits versus lefties are kind of worrisome, though, with a 1.4 whip, 5.7 xFIP, and a 6.3% home run rate compared to a 0.98 whip and 1.9 xFIP versus righties. The current lineup for the White Sox is projected to have 5 hitters of various quality hitting from the left side here, so Peacock can find some danger. Guys like Moncada a little more dangerous than a guy like Charlie Tilson, let's say, but it's still a spot here where Peacock can meet some batters who can cause him problems. I think I'm not as in love with Peacock as his field's expected to be as well. So both Weaver and Peacock, I think, are guys I will be under the field on by a pretty decent amount. The next corner I want to hit on today are the top stacks on today's slate, and the Texas stack going against Mike Leake looks like a good one today. They get 6.1 implied runs on their favor, which is the highest on today's slate. Leake has not missed bats with an 8.6% swing strike rate, and that could definitely pay off in almost 90-degree Texas heat expected today at the game. Leake is slightly less homer prone versus lefties with a 2.3% rate compared to a 4.3% rate versus righties. But there's lots of quality options in the Texas lineup, including the surging Willie Calhoun, who hits a shocking 476 and a 333 ISO so far this year. Ronald Guzman's also a cheap option worth rostering at the bottom of the order with a 4.6% home run rate versus right-hand pitching. Got a lot of ways you can go with Texas. If you want to go with the high-priced guys, Joey Gallo going to be one of the highest-priced guys on the slate. He looks fine. If you want to get some cheaper guys in there, again, you got Guzman. You have a couple ways to go here. I think it looks like a lineup worth getting a lot of stacks of because Mike Leake does seem like someone who's ready to give up some production in a very warm Texas day. And a Houston stack versus Ryan Burr also looks pretty good with 6 implied runs in their favor. Burr's a mediocre opener with an 8.1% swing strike rate in 2019 and a 5.2% home run rate going back to last year. No Houston hitter projects for over 10% ownership despite a solid run total, and a 4.7 extra for the Chicago White Sox bullpen will be doing most of the heavy lifting today. Houston remains the top hitting team in the league versus both left-hand pitching and right-hand pitching. There's a lot of ways you can approach them today. They're going to be pricey, but they probably are going to be worth it today because the White Sox don't seem like a team who are terribly equipped to have a strong bullpen day versus a team as good as Houston. A Yankee stack versus Andrew Cashner also looks pretty good today and well owned with 5.5 implied runs in their favor. Cashner's been slightly better in 2019 with a marginally improved xFIP and a swinging strike rate that's also on the way up, but he's in a tough spot versus an improving Yankees lineup. Luke Voit and Gary Sanchez are pricey options, but Aaron Hicks and Kendrys Morales both have a home run rate over 4.4% versus right-hand pitching, and they're going to be more affordable options who will also have some more ownership as a result. I think you go with the high-price guys. Voigt's home run rate is ridiculous. I mean, it's just one of the highest ones in the league, so it's a good guy to have in there, even if you are going to have to pay a premium. He's going to be low-owned as a result. A lot of ways you can stack up the Yankees, though. If you want to go cheap guys, that's fine. You want to go expensive guys, that's also a good option. Cashner, I think, is a guy who can give up some nice production today. The next corner I want to hit on are the lower-owned options on today's slate, and J.A. Happ going against Baltimore is a guy who intrigued me a little bit. He's got 4 implied runs in his favor, and Happ's been down from 9.1 Ks per 9 to 6.8 Ks per 9 on the year. But this matchup versus Baltimore with a 28% K rate versus left-hand pitching could help get him back on track. Happ's performance so far this year has been troubling with a 5.5% home run rate and a 9.9% swing strike rate, but his price is down. And with every Baltimore hitter besides Hanser Alberto above league average in terms of strikeout rate, it could be a good spot here. Happ's a guy who does seem like like he's going to have some positive regression. I think the situation versus Baltimore is one where he can collect on that. An Angel stack versus Jake Odorizzi also intrigues me today with 4.8 implied runs in their favor. Odorizzi's been really solid on the year with a 1.1 whip and a 10.6% swing strike rate, but the Angels park is a top 3 one for home runs on the year, and that is something a lot of people have slept on. Mike Trout and the very cheap Shohei Ohtani are as solid as ever, and arguments can also be made for Albert Pujols, Cole Calhoun, and Jonathan Lucroy, as well as Tommy La Stella with his price down in the leadoff spot, with all of them above a 4.3% home run rate on the year. His Angels lineup has a lot of pop, and the positive park factors favoring home runs should help them out as well. Odorizzi's a guy who's been really good on the year, but maybe a little bit less good away from home. I think it's a situation here where they could take advantage, and maybe he has a down day, versus an Angels lineup who should be decently low owned. And a Cubs stack versus Jake Arrieta also appeals to me with 4.5 implied runs for them. Arrieta's not been particularly good with a 7.6 K per 9 and 7.9% swing strike rate versus a Cubs team who has a 348 on base percentage versus right-hand pitching. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and Javi Baez are going to be the most appealing guys here, but they're pricey. A full stack including cheaper guys like Kyle Schwarber, Jason Hayward, or a very low-priced Daniel Descalso could be interesting if Arrieta does get rocked. Arrieta hasn't shown a lot this year, and this Cubs lineup can pose some danger. I think it's a situation here where full stacks and mini stacks could pay off. And a twin stack versus opener Taylor Calhoun / projected long reliever Felix Pena also interests me. They get just 4.3 implied runs in their favor, and they're priced down despite a 239 ISO versus right-hand pitching and a positive home run park, as I did mention, over in Angel Stadium. It's an iffy Vegas total that seems suboptimal. Pena allows a 4.5% home run rate, and Minnesota's actually cheap across the board despite massive production on the year. We talked about them a bunch in this video. They are one of the better hitting teams in terms of generating power. Now they're in a positive power park. It's a situation here where things could pay off for them. And again, a lot of ways you can stack them because they're really cheap compared to what we've seen from them recently. And the last corner I want to hit on today are the one-offs, and Austin Riley going against Andrew Suarez interests me a good amount as a one-off. Riley's still decently priced despite a hot run to start his majors career with a 421 batting average, 368 ISO, and a 221 WRC+, while Suarez is making his first 2019 start, and he's had a poor 4.4% home run rate versus righties going back to last year. Suarez is not a pitcher I'm terribly impressed by, and obviously it is going to be a positive pitching environment here in San Francisco, but Riley's been hitting well enough. I think people won't be on him very much, but he's reasonably priced. He's been smashing it, and Suarez is a guy I haven't been impressed by going back to last year. And Shohei Ohtani versus Jake Odorizzi is a guy I talked about earlier, and he continues to be underpriced with a decreased 133 ISO on the year. That number seems due to positively regress the more time that he spends at his home run friendly home park. Again, Angel Stadium right now is a top 3 home run hitting park. Ohtani's a guy who's going to be rounding into form as he gets back from his injury problems. I think it's a good situation here to get back on track if Odorizzi does give up that production that he's known to give up from time to time on the road. And Willie Calhoun versus Mike Leake is also a guy I like a lot. Calhoun projects well at a reasonable price, and he should see decent opportunity at the number 2 hole, a spot he's been highly productive in thus far this year. Calhoun, again, has been hitting well. Leake is going to give up a ton of production. He's going against the lineup. He's got a lot of lefties in it today. Calhoun is one of the better lefties in that grouping, and I like him as a one-off, though the stack would be more appealing to me overall. And now for the special shout-out I promised on Friday's video. We had a 15-game slate, and only 2 guys went double dong in that day. And this guy right here, Chance Seeger, guessed one of them. Pete Alonso did hit 2 home runs. The other guy who hit more than 2 home runs is Chris Bryant. He hit 3, but nobody guessed him, so bad job, everybody. But great job by you, Chance Seeger. You are the man. You did it. Congratulations to you. Your prize, my undying respect, and not a thing else. But that's the most valuable prize we can have. So good job, Chance, and get your chance coming up soon. No pun intended. Sorry, Chance. We get your chance coming up soon to get a shout out. I'm sure I'll be doing that again soon. And of course, as I mentioned earlier in the video, the likes and the support mean a ton today. It's been a real harrowing couple days for your boy. So like the video right now, comment right now which pitcher you like the most today, who's going to get the most strikeouts, along with that number of strikeouts. If you want to be like Chance and earn a special place in both my mind and all the respect of our peers here in the YouTube comments, do that right now. Like the video, leave a comment down below about your favorite pitcher and how many strikeouts they're going to get today. And use that promo code Switch and Hedge for half off your first month of any Awesemo.com package. All the ownership projections, the rankings, the daily deep dive column, lots of premium content on MLB that'll help make you better. Top stacks percentage every day. That's also updated a bunch. There's a lot that can make you better at making lineups every single day. So use that promo code Switch and Hedge to get half off your first month. And I'll be back again tomorrow, another Four Corners video, and a lot more bright-eyed optimism. So good luck.